Bad news for Mercedes for the Dutch GP. Mercedes have had a weekend to be forgotten quickly, as they had only one car finishing P4 with Russell and Hamilton retiring after a mistake he made in the first lap, colliding with Fernando Alonso. But there is more to this, as the team was nowhere to be found from the pace that Red Bull and Ferrari have set ahead. More precisely, Hamilton and Russell were 1.8 seconds off the pole-sitting lap of Verstappen, and although the Dutchman started P15 with both AlphaTauris out of the way, and him being practically P13, he managed to secure the lead of the race in lap 12. Things aren't looking good for Mercedes, who hoped for a huge improvement in the Belgian GP, and if you want to find out why they are in trouble for the Dutch GP, stick around with us until the end of this video. It was heavily known that Mercedes struggled a lot with the porpoising issue, and instead of looking in their own garage and fixing the problem by themselves, they decided to blame other teams for cheating and involving the FIA in order to change some technical directives and hope for leverage. However, after what we've seen in Belgium, it seems like Mercedes are the sore losers when it comes to the new technical directives, with Red Bull practically dusting off everybody behind them. Mercedes believed that Ferrari and Red Bull have illegal flaws, with them being flexible more than 2 meters, which is the allowed limit. Prior to the Belgian GP, the plank wear was measured at 3 pinpoints, and Mercedes believed that the rest of the plank wears much more compared to the 2 millimeters allowed. George Russell was very vocal about this prior to Spa, saying, "Spa is going to be interesting. There are some changes to some of the regulations which may bring other teams towards us. I think we as a team have a lot of confidence in ourselves and faith that we are doing a great job, and there's no reason we can't be in the mix." There is no doubt that Ferrari and Red Bull have pushed the regulations in that regard, and we have respected it as the regulation was intended. There's no guarantee that it would bring them closer to us. We know if it was on our car, it would make us look slower. There's no guarantees. Every car is different, but it's not going to help them, that's for sure. Do you think that he wants to go back in time and eat his words now? Not only Red Bull was literally rocketing through the field, but Mercedes has lost a significant pace if you compare their pace in Hungary, where Russell took pole position and Hamilton was able to finish P2 after starting P8, passing both Ferrari drivers on the way of doing so. What has changed? It seems like Verstappen was right. Mercedes does have the most flexible floor when it comes to it. He was really confused when the Brackley-based team was protesting the flexibility of the floors, because he thought that they are the ones utilizing the most on this matter. During free practice sessions, Red Bull have done something that has probably propelled Verstappen from the rest of the competition, and that is mounting a new monocoque that makes his car 4 kilograms lighter. Red Bull has struggled a lot when it comes to weight limitations, as they were one of the heaviest cars on the grid. However, with this new upgrade that was initially set to be mounted in Singapore, but according to reports was mounted in Spa, the RB18 is just 4 kilograms heavier than the 798 kilograms minimum weight, which is in the same ballpark as Ferrari. After the qualifying sessions, George Russell has started the pessimistic approach about tomorrow's weekend and said that he expects Verstappen to slice through the field and comfortably finish P1, no matter his starting spot is P15. I think Max is going to slice through and win the race probably pretty comfortably. He and Red Bull are miles ahead of everyone, but I don't really know about Charles, to be honest. But I've got to focus on myself, and I expect we should be able to be ahead of third place starting Fernando, and we'll probably end up in no man's land behind the front 4 and ahead of everyone else, said Russell. So why is Mercedes in trouble? It seems like they haven't been able to understand something that doesn't work properly in their car. According to Russell, the problems that the car has are from inherent nature, which isn't good news, since every track you go to you'll have to face a problem of similar or same nature, and you just can't get rid of it. I think it's inherent car limitations that we have. I'd say over the course of a season we benefit a lot more on the Sunday than the limitation we have on a Saturday, and we've probably only had 3 out of these 14 races that have been really bad qualifiers. Here and Imola spring to mind, and maybe Monaco as well. All tracks where you struggle with tyre temps. So there's a clear theme we want to try and find a solution to, but we don't have the answer at the moment. On Saturday, it's 15 degrees and the track was 20 degrees, whereas in the past it was 25 degrees, and the track was 40 to 50 degrees, so the tyres just operate in a totally different window. As I said, even when it's hot, we still do struggle, generally on Saturday, and we would close the gap on a Sunday, finished Russell. The team was hoping heavily that the new directive when it comes to the flexibility of their floors would benefit them more and would slow down Ferrari and Red Bull. Not just that this failed, we've seen both Alpine cars qualifying ahead of the Mercedes drivers, and hadn't it been for the accident, Hamilton would have found himself behind Alonso and would have a difficult challenge in passing his teammate from the 2007 season. Red Bull seems to enjoy what's happening currently, as that could have been noted from Helmut Marko's comments towards Toto Wolff. The head of the Red Bull Juniors program has poked the Mercedes boss, saying, "Maybe we will have to change something about the chassis because of Toto's new guidelines. They worked very well this weekend. We thank him." It seems that Mercedes have fallen back even further. Everything was perfect. The car, the tyres. We had it easy. We are satisfied with Perez's performance. If you're more than a second behind during the first practice, then this is a good result, finished Marko. Do we expect Red Bull to continue with the same tempo? Well, not literally the same, because we must not forget that Verstappen was mounted with a new engine. It's likely that he'll use the same engine in the remainder of the triple header, with the Dutch GP and Monza being next on the calendar. But Red Bull have constantly brought upgrades to every race so far, and it seems like they are finally on the right track when it comes to winning a championship, as they did from 2010 to 2013 with pure domination. As for Mercedes, it seems like the team has so much to do in order to improve the performance of the car. According to Toto Wolff, there is something in the W13 that they fail to understand, and Red Bull, along with Verstappen, are in a league of their own. It is, for me, the worst qualifying session I had in 10 years, irrespective of what positions we are going to start after the grid penalties. Even being pole the previous weekend and 3 weeks later being nowhere is just not acceptable for ourselves. There's something which we totally don't understand. Clearly Red Bull is here in a league of their own. What is the next Ferrari? 8/10 off? 9/10 off? But that is no consolation, said Wolff after the qualifying, and continued with the pessimistic approach after the finish of the race, which saw Hamilton retiring in lap 1 after the collision with Alonso and Russell, not being able to challenge Sainz for P3 and having to satisfy with P4. Wolff then continued to talk about the race outcome, saying, "We need to accept the reality. I don't think you can be satisfied with Verstappen being in a league of his own. We need to really find out how we can improve our cars. The gap is just too big. The car is very difficult to drive and hasn't got the pace on a single lap, so we just need to work ourselves out. There will be lots of sticking their heads together, setting the sights on not only the next few races, but also next season. I hope that at a track that would suit us more, we are more competitive, but we mustn't be too much between depression and mania. Today would be all the reason to be depressed, but in Hungary 3 weeks ago we were thinking, yes, absolutely, we're going to win a race, so we'll never give up," said Wolff after the team has marked the 15th race in a row that a driver of theirs hasn't stood on the highest place on the podium. Therefore, it's unlikely that the team will see good results in the Dutch GP, a race that will be heavily anticipated by the Orange Army, the supporters of Verstappen, who is the first champion to come out of their country. According to Hamilton, he will definitely not miss the 2022 W13 car, something that is leading us to believe that the team is already looking for the next season. What do you think will happen at the Dutch GP? Let us know in the comments below.